If you're poor, that's your fault. Yeah, I said it. Because the fact is, everything is just vibe nowadays. So if you're broke, your vibe's just not right. Like literally. Look at Jeff Bezos. He stays rich because he knows he's rich. So yeah, next time you're having trouble with rent, don't say, oh, systemic inequality and unemployment rates. No, no. You're just not vibing with the landlord on the right frequency. And yeah, some people might say, oh, that's ridiculous. That has no, factual backing. Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm not going to speak 10 minutes just about that. But, someone's going to pay me to say it? No? Okay, fine. But that is the living of so many influencers. They do stuff just like this and make a living through rage bait. Now, speaking to a mostly high school audience, a lot of us have a basic understanding of it. Usually it's just controversial opinions you tell your friends, or like those videos that mess up, coloring just to annoy you. But in the modern day, rage bait has become so much bigger than annoying. It's become a full-blown business model. This is a statistic. 2023, Meta reported $116 billion in ad revenues alone. That's like the GDP of Morocco made from just your scrolls. And that's how platforms work. The longer you stay, the more they collect your data and the more they target ads to you. And through that, they make money. And they'll do anything to keep you on those platforms. And they use anger as it's the most effective method. It is one of the most emotionally intense states we can be in. Our adrenaline surges, our heartbeat just goes off the roof, and our attention locks in. So we just engage with anything we see because that's just kind of the state we're in. That's what anger does. Now, you know what else works like rage bait? Gambling. Because the thing is, social media is sort of like a slot machine. You don't know what you're going to get next. You go through reels, right? You don't know what you're going to get next. I saw like 100 decent cooking videos, but maybe the next one's going to be the masterpiece that changes my life. Your brain doesn't know what's going to be next, like a slot machine. You're not guaranteed that win, but your brain loves that maybe and it gets addicted to it. Now, what does this do? When we're constantly addicted to the same thing of, 60-second reels, it obviously ruins our attention span. And Microsoft says that our attention span is now 8 seconds. And this was in 2015, by the way. In 2015, we were shorter than a goldfish. Imagine how bad it is right now. So, obviously, our brains weren't meant for stuff like this. I personally can't go through a 5-minute video without opening YouTube Shorts. It's bad, but it's the truth. And that's the thing. Literally, Instagram created a 2x button for 60-second reels. Come on. It's taking away a sense of empathy, passion, and patience and nuance. And let's be honest. How would I care about anything else in the world when I just saw someone take Pringles and make it into mashed potatoes? I don't care about unemployment or the fact that the world is crumbling. Pringles, come on, no one wants to see that. But that's the issue. Conversations that actually matter, they take patience, they take time, and they take depth. And if we overlook this, we end up risking becoming a loud but uninformed generation. And that's even worse because anger is literally everywhere. Social media didn't create rage bait, it rebranded it. And rebranded it. And you can see this in every single form of media we see. Take, for example, Arnab Goswami. Arnab Goswami is India's biggest news anchors, and he turned normal public discourse into nationalistic theatre, where it doesn't matter if you're true or you're making actual points. It just matters if you're loud. And that's spread like wildfire, and all of news in India is basically like this. And it's not just India, it's also in the US and the UK with anchors like this. Yeah. Yeah, anchors just like this. They exploit your anger and make millions of it. And the thing is, it's just been like this forever. Because if there's attention, there is someone ready to provoke, simplify, and polarize. And this is not just in our media. Look at the kind of media, like our internet, right? We have content like Love Island, Big Boss. We don't watch it because like, oh, the meaningful connections. No, we want to see betrayal and humiliation. Even the kind of fandoms we involve ourselves in, Marvel versus DC, Taylor versus Kanye. It's just, opinions that are turned into proper personal wars because that's how you stay relevant. And this was taken a step further with advertisement. We all know the American Eagle ad. It was accused of promoting eugenics, but it couldn't care less. Because why? American Eagle, the mentions of the brand just skyrocketed. So how could you care less when, without paying a single dime, your brand is trending? And I mean, worst of all, people realize how important rage actually is, and it's being used to police our culture. I mean, take the movie Padmavat. People boycotted it because it was hurting our sentiments. Or paintings by M.F. Hussain, who was, by the way, exiled over this painting that he made decades earlier because it portrayed a nude goddess. And worst of all, our parents are also not immune to this. Worst offenders of rage bait are probably the messages that your parents send you, because their rage bait exists, but it doesn't look like ours. It's not controversial reels, but it's more so things that have no context, no source, and they get angry on your behalf. When no one's immune to this. We're all caught in the same emotional trap. And worst of all, this creates something what psychologists are calling attention capture damage. Where basically we're exposed to highly emotional content, and it's so much, we're basically so surrounded by it, we really stop caring about things that are calm and complex. And the worst part is, it breeds cynicism. We end up losing hope. And this is shown by multiple studies. University of Michigan showed that people who are exposed to more angry content have more distrust in democracy and are less hopeful of the future. Even Reuters, it showed that 4 in 10 people don't watch news because it's emotionally draining and they just don't want to look at something that's negative. And you know why this is dangerous? Because outrage, when it's normal, it causes hope to become naive. And the people who are benefiting of this realize that the people who are benefiting of this love it. And these are billionaires, politicians, because it makes it easier for them to show the us versus them story. Blaming one certain group for all of our problems. So actual complex issues get swept under the rug. And I mean, this is what people care about. Instead of actual issues that systemically affect all of us, we want to talk about whether we should have rainbows on Coke bottles or not. And this is horrible because at the same time, anger is one of the most powerful motivators for change. I mean, but instead with rage bait, it's being pushed, basically being pushed into reactionary corners. And we stop even asking, is this even true? And the rest of us who aren't involved in this, we sort of lose hope. We realize no one's going to focus on actual issues. Everything's corrupt. It's pointless to vote. Why ask for change? So, a hopeless public is a quiet public. And the thing is, the goal obviously isn't to never feel outrage. I mean, some of the best movements in history are started by someone saying, hey, I'm angry, this isn't right. The American Civil Rights Movement, Future for Fridays, Occupy Wall Street, and the Palestinian Liberation. They all start with someone saying, hey, I don't want this to happen and I am angry. But the thing is, we've given so much of our emotional capacity to things that don't matter. When it comes to things that actually matter, we just don't have the energy. And somewhere along the lines of like the long history of humans existing, we should have asked, is this where we want our society to be? Because 100 years ago, when we asked about the future, we probably would have said something like flying cars, not new forms to manipulate each other, right? So we stopped asking what matters and we started asking what sells. And we started doing anything that gives us more money and more power. So what do? Well, rage bait only works when we're aware of it. And just to clarify, sometimes rage bait is also not intentional. We are humans at the end of the day. And it can just be memes that are taken out of context and turned into misinformation. They were headlines, they were trying to be catchy, but they ended up turning into manipulative tactics. It's sometimes just a mistake. So, what do? Be aware of it. Because the thing is, sometimes you need to ask questions like, what emotion is this post trying to make me feel? Who gains if I get angry? Who loses if I stay calm? Sometimes you just need to pause for a second and think. It's just that simple. Because the thing is, we've learned how to stop and pause and identify, clickbait. But now we got to do the same thing with rage bait. Because if it feels like it's trying to provoke you, it probably is, and you just need to ignore it. Secondly, consume slow content. I know this sounds cliche, but real change doesn't happen in 60 seconds. So it's a necessity that you rebuild your attention span and actually give time to slow content. It could be anything, movies, essays, articles, podcasts. Just be able to go through a neutral conversation that's really long and get something at the end that you remember and learn. That's actual growth. Number 3, diversify your inputs. Because, with the algorithm, we're surrounded by the same opinions again and again. And no one's there to say like, hey, is this really worth our time? So look at perspectives from the whole spectrum. Don't let 5 people decide your whole identity. Then, fact check. This sounds pretty simple. It was probably taught to you in class. If there's something that seems too perfectly outrageous, just fact check it. What's a quick Google search to you? And it could do so much in the long run. Because the thing is, silence is better than spreading a lie with confidence. So, what I have to say is that you don't have to be a politician or an expert or just anyone of power to be resilient to rage bait. You just have to be a little patient and a little smarter. You have to pause before you react. You have to question before judging. And you have to listen even when it's really hard. Because in a world built on noise, quiet thinking is a revolution. Thank you.